What's going on, Tapped In listeners? Welcome back to the channel. Got another great episode coming for you guys, so stay tuned for that. But beforehand, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Jeff from Sap Spy for joining us on the podcast at the conference. He had a super busy schedule and a lot of stuff going on. He had a great booth at the conference there, and I watched a video on his class. He put on a great class, so we really appreciate him giving us his time at the conference. But we unfortunately have the technical difficulties with the audio. We got brand new microphones and we're still learning them. And so unfortunately the audio from his episode got deleted. But I got it back as good as I can, but there's a couple little segments that aren't perfect. So just bear with us and know they will be better in the future. But for this episode, they're not perfect. So thank you again to Jeff from Sap Spy. We appreciate talking with us and enjoy the episode. Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the Tapped In podcast. Today we're here at the 2026 New York State Maple Conference in Cobleskill, New York. We're here with Jeff from Sap Spy. So welcome, Jeff. Thanks for coming on.
Yes. Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
So what are we going to talk about today with Sap Spy, Dano?
So if you've been watching the podcast, I talk about, I think it was a couple episodes ago, how I bought this protection valve for my system. And I bought it from Jeff, reached out to him. And we're going to talk a little bit about how that valve can help you in your maple operation, keep things from flooding in the releaser first thing in the morning. And he's got some other things here for monitoring that I think he'd like to talk about as well. So we'll let Jeff kind of take the floor here a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, the protection valve. This is something that for my personal operation, it's always an 1.5 inch wet dry line through my operation. Every morning thaw, that flood that happens in the releaser would cause the releaser to trip, have issues. Sap Spy is great. It would send me a text alert, tell me I have an issue, but I'd still get my butt out there to fix that moisture trap that tripped. Protection valve helps solve that. We put this between our releaser and our moisture trap. We have probes in the releaser that tells you that the pump's not keeping up, cuts off vacuum, immediately cuts off vacuum to your releaser, so you don't get sap up to your moisture trap. So just protects that, saves you time not having to run out there for when your releaser is tripping. So it's the first thing we offer is that protection valve, that's what control box.
That's what you use, Dan, right?
Yeah. So I was having that exact problem that Jeff's talking about. You can't be in two places at the same time, and you're a sugar maker. When it lets go, lets go. And your releaser will basically flood up on you so fast that the submersible pump can't pump it out fast enough. So that's where that baby right there comes into play. That is probably one of the best investments I've ever made. I would highly recommend them because you can't be in two places at the same time. And if you suck that sap up that vacuum line, your last line of defense before the pump is your moisture trap. And if that moisture trap fails somehow, you're going to take that sap and it's going to go back into your vacuum pump, and it's going to cost you thousands.
That's a bad day.
It's a bad day, and it's going to cost you thousands of dollars, and that's the last thing you want to do. So there's certain things I feel like on the market that you probably don't need, but there's some things that you do need, and that baby right there, that's a game changer for me. So
How much did you say one of those is going to run you around?
Yep, that we have $500 for the valve. We have our 2-inch valve with that, and the little control box that goes with it. Sure. 3 probes that go with it as well. $500 for that system, and it's shipped to you as well.
So perfect.
Absolutely.
Another thing I'll say about that too, very awesome customer service. These guys, I ordered mine. I think I had it 3 days. They're in Wisconsin. We're in New York. And I know I talked to Jeff a little earlier. They really pride themselves on getting the product to the person.
Out the door is, you try for the same day, if not the next day, getting what you order shipped out to you. It's all critical this time of year.
Sure, yeah.
And get it in your hands as soon as possible.
Especially this time of year, yeah. If you have something that goes wrong, you need it as fast as you can. So
absolutely. We have full inventory ready to go on that device, or on that, all boxed up, ready to ship out to the different producers all throughout the maple country here.
So where did you say you're out of?
Just out the Green Bay, Wisconsin. Is where I'm at. Is where our Sugar Bush.
And you said you do your own. You have your own.
Yeah, about 1,500 taps, so not a big producer, but not a little bit more than just 100 taps in the backyard.
Right.
1,500 taps, that keeps us plenty busy as well.
Hell yeah!
You must be one of those cheeseheads out there then.
Yeah, a little bit. I got my background there. So I grew up on a dairy farm just south of Green Bay, and manual labor, picking rocks, baling hay, basically working on the neighbor farm as well throughout the whole childhood. Went to school for electrical engineering. Really enjoyed that career. Throughout my as a career itself, enjoy that field. But like my entire childhood was picking rocks, baling hay, doing manual work outdoors.
Done a lot of that.
But now I'm like in the office, behind a monitor all the time. So 15 years ago, maple syrup has been the escape from the corporate world.
Sure.
Let's get back to my farming roots, outdoors, doing manual labor. And so that's how I started as a maple syrup producer roughly 15 years ago.
Isn't that how it kind of all starts for all of us? We all started out on a farm in a way, almost. A lot of us.
Yeah.
It's that. Yeah. That's how I got into it. Was my great grandfather. We all had dairy farms. It's that work ethic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Either lived on one or worked on one.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
And it's just a great way to be raised, in my opinion. So we live on the different ends of the country, so to speak, but we have a lot of similarities.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Similar upbringings and absolutely.
So you also have some other gadgets here that can help out the big guys like Dan. Ben and I are kind of small on this.
They're always busting on me, dude. I'm just a little spot on that wall over there.
Yeah.
Honestly, but we're all different, maybe different tap counts, but we all work just as hard as much pride as in our operations as whether you're 100,000 taps or 1,000 taps or 100 taps. We all have passion and pride in what we do.
Yeah, we have touched on that before in videos. We're like, it doesn't matter how many taps you have, the work is the work.
Exactly.
Right? So,
The work, and there's no end goal. Like, what is the end goal? Like, everybody talked to him, like Glenn last night. Put another addition on this year.
Yeah.
A couple of years later, put another. Like, I feel like when you first start out doing this, like, you don't have a lot of money. Nobody has a lot of money. So you build what you can afford. Then, okay, you become a little more successful, make a little bit more money. Then you can add again. So that's why nobody builds that 300 by 400 building to start with, because you just can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So eventually, as you grow your business, you can do more. So it's pretty cool, man. I think the maple, I met some pretty cool people. Just as we started this, like we've had, I don't know how many people come up to us and say, hey, man, we've been watching the podcast. You guys are doing great things. So it's awareness,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
crazy.
For us.
how you doing?
Good. For me, part of that story is so when we got 50 years ago, it was my brother Andy's crazy idea to go tapping more and more, and we did bags and buckets like many people start. And after you get 600 bags and buckets, you spend all day collecting bags and buckets, spend all night boiling. Okay, we got to do something different to make it easier next season. We started with tubing systems, did some 316s. We did sure flows, guzzlers, the whole gamut. We eventually redid it all and did high vac systems. At that point, then realizing all the pain points we all have of the moisture trap tripped, or mechanical releaser's not keeping up, the pump shut off, and my background's engineering and data systems, and really what existed in the market just didn't really meet my needs. I didn't have power, I didn't have Wi-Fi, and I want to know what's happening at my pump house. What's my vacuum pump? Is my vacuum pump running? Do I have any major leaks? How's my tank doing? And then so we essentially started with just a sensor hub to monitor the most critical right at your pump house. Rather than going buy something, 7 years ago, I'm just going to build my own, and then just been helping out more and more people ever since that time.
Right.
So it's like kind of our flagship offering has been the sensor hub to monitor that most critical, what's happening right at my pump house.
See, we had trouble even hooking these mics up, so that kind of blows our mind a little bit. So.
It's really not as complicated as you think. You know what I mean? You probably can download the app, you can track it all on your phone.
All on your phone, yep.
It's I'm still old school. I want to say it old school. I haven't been able to come up with the money to afford one of these, because the bigger you grow, the more this stuff costs, because you need that much. You're almost better off to buy it as you go. It's easier that way. But prime example for me, I have a woods that I have to walk, and I have a leak in there. All right, well, I don't necessarily know where it is. That thing right there is going to tell me exactly where it is. So right now, I'll walk around the woods for 2 hours looking for that leak.
Yeah.
Well, say I started on top. We talked about this earlier. It's on the bottom. Well, by the time I get down there, I could have had that fixed in 10 minutes if I knew it was there.
Yeah,
and that's what this will allow you.
And you said that comes back to an app on your phone?
This also is a cellular connected device. So it takes those readings, vacuum tank level temperature every 5 minutes, sends the data out to the internet, and then anywhere you have internet, 95% of people are on their phone, you can see that information. So I can pull up my phone here. Yeah, we're in New York, but I can look at what's happening in my sugar bush, back in Wisconsin even.
Oh, that's awesome.
So anywhere you have internet, you can know what's going on. And most people start with just the sensor hub to monitor the most critical right at the pump house. To me, that's like 50, 60% of the value monitoring is just knowing that. Sure. The days you suck up sap, or the pump shut off, or a tree fell down, I have a big leak. If you don't know it, you miss out on a lot of sap those days. The worst part about it is then the next day, did it happen again? Did the moisture trap trip again? Did the mechanical releaser have an issue? Did I lose power again? I just didn't know it. So you spend all your time worrying about it, thinking about it, driving back and forth just to check on things. Well, now with our sensor hub, you can just pull out your phone and you immediately know what's going on.
Awesome.
So many times it's like, man, I stayed up 11, midnight, maybe 1 o'clock, those late evenings boiling. It's like, oh, Sap's still running. Should I go check on it? Or can I just go to bed? Yep. Now you just pull out your phone, you can go right to bed.
Monitoring is big for me too, because the pump house is good. It's a 6-minute ride up the road. So I have just some cameras in there now. I don't have a system like this, but I don't have to go up there 10 million times a day and check this thing. I can look right in the house on my phone. Oh, Sap's starting to run. I better go up there, turn the pump on. Oh, it's done. I can shut the pump off, give it a break for the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
So monitoring it's a real big thing now in the industry. It saves you. Everything is about time. I feel like it's time. You can't get your time back. So if you can save time, that's what the name of the game is.
Do you have a system that will turn pumps on, shut them off?
We do. Yep. So on the sensor hub, there's a port on the side for a relay module. That relay module, I didn't bring one here for us, but it's 2 relays. So sometimes I want to turn a vacuum pump on and off. Maybe it's a vacuum pump and a valve. I want to drain the pump out line back in my tank. You can open a valve and let that drain back in. Some scenarios, I have a generator. I want to turn on a generator and then turn on a vacuum pump. All possible with that relay.
Man, you need one of those, Dano.
Yeah, Dano.
There's a lot of things.
Maybe two.
There's a lot of things I need. That's when you get start to know people a little bit, maybe I'll hook you up.
Absolutely. We'll definitely hook you up.
That's a pretty cool system then. If you can turn it on from, especially you being a single man show.
I know.
Well, Jackson. I mean, we all know
Jackson.
We all know how good he is.
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. We're not going to go down that road today, boys.
So I think I don't know if I missed it, or did you start Sap Spy, or do you just work for?
No,
Sap
I'm
Spy?
fellow sugar maker, but founder, creator, principal engineer of the system. So most of the hardware, software development. Can't say I do it all, but it's 89% of my creation. As of now, as we grow, we need additional help.
Sure.
So we have seasonal help from both assembly and from other aspects.
Right.
To assembly and programming that we hire seasonal to just to stay ahead of the game here.
Right.
That's how we can ship hardware out quickly, is having help in that area.
Work with other people, right? That's super cool. Yeah, I figured that was kind of like the deal, like you kind of fronted it because you know so much about it.
For me, it's like the passion of this thing. Call it electrical engineering, data systems. How do we leverage data to help people solve problems, make decisions, make life easier? Combining that passion with the maple industry. I just love the maple industry, being a producer myself, the farming background, and how do we just merge those two worlds together? It's really been the creation of Sap Spy.
Did you have this in mind when you were in college, getting your engineering degree? Were you thinking down the road of doing this?
Yeah, actually, at that time when I was in school, I wasn't a maple syrup producer yet. So at that time, no. I did a funny story though. At the time, was deer cameras were just coming out. I did build my own prototype deer camera.
All right, yeah.
Back in college, just as this, and then I went a different route, more industrial automation and PLCs and industrial control, and then this was pretty similar to building a deer camera. It's just so it's an inclination there, maybe an early foresight to what's to come, but the actual this product was not there at the time.
So you have a system for the smaller guy all the way up to Glenn.
What we have here, so I started building this for myself 7 years ago, made it for my own, 1,500 taps. The core foundational kind of flagship product has been this sensor hub, one of the most critical right at your pump house. A lot of value just in that. As we have, grown with different customers, as we've grown as a producer, then it's all about where is the leak in the system. So we also have sensor nodes to help us pinpoint the leaks in the system. And now as we've grown different customers, we have the sensor hub, and then for a few thousand taps, maybe 5,000 to 6,000 taps, sensor hub works really well for that. This year we're introducing a gateway, which basically allows it to be more and more scalable. Many more producers can use our sensor nodes with that newer gateway style to make it more infinitely scalable to many size producers. For example, we have one just on the road here, 28,000 taps. About 120-ish nodes. Yeah, I forgot it was 200 sensors, 150 sensors. I forgot exact there, but to make the system more and more scalable to help out more and more people.
Sure. Awesome.
So with the node, you probably did you already explain the node?
So the node, it's just quick recap on the hub. Most critical at the pump house, vacuum tank level temperature.
Sorry, Jeff.
Go right ahead.
This guy mounts at the pump house.
Typically, it's at the pump house. Yeah.
Okay, so people understand. And then what is the sensor that goes at the end of the sub main or the main line?
Yeah. So the first name of the game is make sure I vacuum at my releaser, tank level. Just knowing that gives you peace of mind, know what's going on. Sure. The next, if you want to maximize your production, where are the leaks in the system? The higher vacuum you have, the more sap you're going to get, the more productivity you're getting out of your investment of all your tubing. So the next name of the game is where are the leaks? And so sensor nodes like this can be placed at the end of your main lines. You could do, this one device could do 1, 2, or 3 main lines. It's a vacuum sensor that plugs in. So you can plug in multiple as you need.
So that strap, it's a strap that hooks up to the tree.
You got almost like a deer camera strap.
Yep.
I don't have one here, but it clips on here and then wraps around the tree.
So this end, guy, so if I had a spin seal, I could burn my nipple on the top of the main line.
Yep.
And then put a piece of tubing 5/16 from there to there.
Yep, exactly. And then every 5 minutes, vacuum at the end of every single one of your main lines. Maybe a spoke came out, maybe you got squirrel chew. Instead of going out and wandering for hours, closing different valves, trying to hear where that leak is, whatever line has the least amount of vacuum is where that leak is. So you just walk right to it. That's the first, what people think about of sensors at the end of my main lines. That's what it provides. The next value that people often don't realize is there is all the small leaks that are out there that you won't even be able to find unless you're like every single day walking every line.
And I can attest to that. Those micro leaks are very important. Sorry to cut you off, Jeff. Like they get people don't realize all those micro leaks compound, and then you lose sap.
Yeah,
that's just the way it works.
You're both so like a main line will freeze. Let's say you have a leaky saddle. At 38 degrees, that's running fine. At 37, 36, 35, then that's going to start freezing up. It's that rapid expansion of air in the main line that causes it to freeze up. So the rest of the night, while that main line was kept running, that whole section of the woods just got cut off with zero vacuum. You have great vacuum at your releaser, but the leak froze up and you're not getting any flow.
Daniel, you've mentioned that before, and when you have a squirrel chew, that's where it'll freeze.
Yeah, I try to really show that in my video. So when I went and helped that fellow sugar maker out last year in that one video, I said we're gonna simulate a leak here, and I said, can I cut your drop? He's like, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I just sliced it, a minute slice with just the cutter, and you can just see it instantly. And if that's running, and it's getting cold, as Jeff's explaining, it's starting to get colder and colder, that'll form an ice ball right there. And say that was even farther down, like the lateral line, that'll form an ice ball, and everything behind that gets blocked off.
Yep.
Just as you say. So you're losing production. Like you say, down at the pump house, it says you got 28 inches. You don't have 28 inches to the back of that tree.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's where these things come in handy, because they're going to, I would have to go out and find that. Like a lot of times I'll walk when it's borderline starting to freeze, because if there is a problem, you'll see an ice ball, you'll get a formation right off the drop line. But yeah, this is what these things will help you do.
Yep, absolutely. And so then it's less about finding, I'm going to go see it at that moment. Yes, you could, if you're, have the time to go walk the line at that moment. So much about it is I look at what happened yesterday, the last 2 days, what lines are spending more time below vacuum. That's have an extra hour today while the tank is pumping out. That's the line I'm going to walk because I know there's a leak there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to fix that leak. And now the next time it freezes up, it's not going to freeze up. It's going to stay, at that 34, 35 degrees when the sap is still running, you're going to maintain good vacuum in that whole branch, increasing your yield. And then every single of those micro leaks you're going to fix, you're going up, whether it's a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, through the entire system. So now instead of running 26 inches, you can push up to 28 inches.
Nice. That's the thing, like vacuum, how it works. Like you get the big leaks fixed, the noticeable stuff, but for every one of those you fix, it just gains you that much more, and it makes that much. It's a huge difference. People don't understand.
And that was pretty neat. You were showing me on your phone earlier. You can test which lines typically are running worse than the other ones, or freeze and thaw quicker. Or so later in the day.
A lot of the something new that we're introducing this year is more of I call it timeline view, or more like a heat map, and even rank your main lines from best performing to worst performing. So ultimately, how do we leverage all the data? Maybe a little bit of a data geek here, but how do we leverage all of that data to help you as a producer make better decisions, be more productive with your time, and how do we visualize it in a way that just makes sense? And that timeline view, that ranking of the main lines really does exactly that.
But we need people like you in the maple industry, right? Like the three of us sitting here are never ever gonna dive into a system and like design this, right?
No.
So you call yourself like a data geek, but we need that. You're extremely important to the maple industry. Like
That's where that engineering degree comes back to,
right,
boys.
exactly right. Yeah, I got my degree in construction, so I have nothing even close to engineering.
And ultimately, we've tried to make it as simple, simple, affordable, scalable. It's kind of our tagline.
Sure.
So everybody in this industry can leverage this sort of technology.
Right.
So how many years have you been around with this now, Jeff?
I think the very first one was, 7 years ago. I made it for myself.
Yep.
Sensor hubs were the next 2 years. Then we introduced sensor nodes for 3-4 years since then. So we've been basically at this for about 7 years now.
So
Every year growing more and more functionality, more and more producers out there.
So what's the next thing? Next thing on your bucket list. There's got to be something coming out.
There's got to be something going on in that mind.
There's a few things going on. There's always different ideas.
I can't release all the secrets.
Well, I don't want them to release the secrets.
We want to be the first ones.
So part of this is so far we've relied on a web app. Web app works really well. Android phone, an iPhone, desktop PC, universal interface for everybody. In the off season, we're thinking about doing an app you download just to be a little bit more responsive, if you will, or just a refinement of the offering there. But this last season was providing a universal node and providing that gateway functionality.
Awesome.
From a hardware perspective.
That'll get you fired up, man. That's more technology,
Oh yeah, technology and me together, like so good.
I tell you what, boys, that door must have slammed at least 15 times.
Well, we're in a thoroughfare
Lunchtime,
here. Yeah,
of
it's
course.
lunchtime too. We probably
We
shouldn't have
picked
done
the
this.
wrong time to
That's
do
all right.
that.
So
It is what
it's
it
really
is.
not bad here. It's really not.
Oh, really? Okay,
They're
good.
really good. Yeah. So this valve, I'm gonna jump back to this. Is that something like when you get the app? Is that gonna be something that you can control? Like if you want to turn that off from your phone, or can you do that now?
So we sell that more with an electronic protection valve, completely like a standalone, simple or dummy device, not tied into the technology, not tied to your phone. Now we do have some, quite a few producers that use the sensor hub to say open and close a different valve.
Okay.
Like if I have an electric releaser, do I want to pump to the road because I know that line is thawed? I have a 3-way valve. I can either pump to the road or pump to a local tank.
Sure.
So it's not this exact valve, but other types of valves you can control. Yeah,
that's super cool. Okay.
The protection valve for us, it was that issue I had in my own woods 3 years ago. I think is when I had it. I gotta solve this problem for myself. Might as well source the hardware and build it in a way that I can help out other producers as well. Ultimately, that's really why we do what we do, is to help out other people. So I'm gonna build it, design it in a way that I can then help out other producers with that same problem.
See, in the way you started, that's perfect because you tested, true, and tried it yourself.
Right.
That's like me building something like, it doesn't work for me. Why would I want to sell that to the public? So you know what works.
Yep,
you know it works, and so
you're not just in a office building this stuff. You're testing it in the field at your own place, which is awesome to hear.
Everything we've done so far has been solving my own problem first and just building it in a way to help out more and more producers.
But isn't it? That's what Maple is.
I was going to say
It's
that's kind of the business.
every day, dude. And that's just like our line of work, is figuring it out.
Oh yeah.
And I love that valve. I'm going to say it 10 million times, man. That thing has changed my game a lot because I was having massive sap floods in the morning, and that you've been there. And I know if it wasn't for Jason, actually found him first. Who I saw my sap to, and he's like, "You need to get a couple of these." And I saw the price tag. I'm like, "Whoo, man, it ain't bad for one, but two of them." I'm like, money well spent.
Absolutely.
And they work flawless, like instantly. As soon as that sap touches that probe,
it's instant.
You can't. And it kind of has to be because, when that sap's getting close to that vacuum line, it'll pull that up there so fast,
Well, I'm assuming that's why you use a diaphragm in there rather than a gate valve or a ball
gate
valve.
valves are, 20, 30 seconds, and that flood in the morning, it's coming so fast. You need some instant. And so that's why we use the diaphragm valve, because it is instant acting.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear them too. You can hear them clicker. If you watch, you see it light up. It comes with that. What's it come with there? That
a little control box, basically electronic float relay in there that makes it instantly actuating.
So how's the show working for you? Like, are you getting?
This is an awesome show. I love coming to these shows. A great attendance. Great to see this, rolling back off and increasing the attendance more and more. See the momentum building year after year. And more importantly, I just love connecting with you guys as well. I think we talked on the phone a few times. Last year, 2 years ago, I forget when it was. And to talk to producers face to face, hear the stories. What pain points do people still have? Where do we go next in our product development? That's why I love these shows.
Putting faces with names is pretty cool. You know, like, you know, I met you through that, but you watch my YouTube channel, and he's been using one of my videos as on your website to educate people. And that's what it's all about, dude. You know what I mean?
You guys do better videos than I do, so I had to swipe yours. So using the site.
That's why I wanted to get you on here, because you know, I don't know if you ever been up to New York. Is this your first time to New York? Or?
So actually, a couple weeks ago, I was here installing one of the larger systems.
The Rock Superior.
Yeah.
Well, you said New York, so it's Vermont, New York, then Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yes, for the maple.
We overtook, I think, Maine last year, number 3 now.
Boy,
Maine's dropping down in a hurry.
Maine's not looking so good. Whoever's watching from Maine, you guys got to get working out there.
Sorry, Scott.
They're talking New York's going to be overtaking Vermont here pretty quick if we keep it up.
I don't know.
Ooh, you got a long ways to go.
I think we got a long ways to go.
There's a lot of us to take over Glenn himself.
I'll touch on that a little bit too. So the problem with New York, in my opinion, is we got so much untapped potential. So the mindset in New York is like, we'll just cut trees down instead of tapping trees. That's not how it works in Vermont. They're all about maple up there. They're about leasing their land, selling land. They would rather, I feel like they would rather sell sap, tap trees, and cut logs.
It's probably it's more of the culture up there.
Like, they just don't understand how it works down here. Because I mean, I got 2 leases. I lease both my properties, but they get it, you know. But you can make good money leasing your property to people. You know, I don't know. Do you lease any woods, or you?
The main woods we lease is that we tap is actually leased. We used to tap the home sugar bush. It's mostly silver maple, more wetland swamp, and that's a pain in the butt.
Is it flat?
It was getting the canoe out and put waders on to go collect sap and bags and buckets. And then, you know, the farming community, it's where all, you know, my parents have been there 40 years, 50 years probably now. Neighbors, you know, helping each other out. And the one neighbor comes to us 10, 12 years ago. Hey, I think I have a couple maple trees up there. You want to, you know, tap my woods as well? And you go up there, and it's a beautiful, beautiful property. All hard maple, and power's available there. So it's like, well, we just focus on that property instead of the silver maples.
I know when you see that power pole sitting there, my eyes always light up, because it makes things a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Once you see that pole, you're good to go.
We've done the generators and other things over the years too, and it's a pain to, you know, if you don't have power, you got to do what's necessary. But
I've got a generator on my one setup, but it's set up to handle. But it's, you know, it's always something, another moving part that you got to worry about. You know, but you know, sometimes that's all you got. That's all you can use. You know.
Yeah, so you gotta make it work with what you got, right? Like, you need a generator, you gotta get a generator. But if pole's there, if you got power there, that's about the best thing you can do. So we're rolling in about 27 minutes here.
Perfect.
So perfect.
If anyone out there needs something, check it out. Sap Spy. He's got a lot more stuff than what we've even talked about here today. There's LED sight glass for easy monitoring your tanks. That was pretty cool. You got one on display here. Some water meters, which we may have to look into something like that.
Yeah. Well,
some flow meters.
Boy, there's always something for everyone.
Oh, yeah. I need one. I do need one.
You know, just got to get out the checkbook.
Those are probably a little more expensive than ones off Amazon, though.
Oh, yeah, they might.
Yeah. So we've had a couple people use the ones that are Amazon. They definitely are not as accurate.
I was going to say
that for sure.
Okay, so that's good. So I'll ask you this right now.
Yeah.
So since I have had this question, I've had no one to answer it. I want one of those because they got 3/16 lines coming in. I'm gonna put them to like a 3/4 hose or whatever would work.
Okay.
If that line isn't full and flowing hard, is it gonna count?
So the water meter that we have is primarily for electric releasers.
Sure.
Whereas the pump in the releaser is gonna pump out.
Sure.
And that's a full pipe flow there. And we then tie that into Sap Spy, and then every 5 minutes, you know how many gallons made it through your releaser.
Okay.
We do all the math then of gallons per hour, gallons per day, gallons for the season, total gallons per tap for the season. That's how that all works.
That's pretty cool. So what could I do instead to make that work for me? Like, 'cause I'm coming straight from the woods, and I want to go into a water meter because I go straight into a tank.
Yeah,
thank you.
My problem is I can't do it on the outlet of the tank. Because my system, I sense that back to my tank from my releaser. Okay. And so when my RO. And so when I pump it back out, it would be miscounting.
You're like double counting then. Yeah, that setup is a little challenging to do.
Right.
You know, metering while you do the RO, but feeding through it. So yeah, I don't know if I have to think through that a little bit more.
We have to do some brainstorming. Whether we could get like a separate tank, like a little 20-gallon tank and then pump out of it into the big tank?
That's probably the right way of separate tanks, and then you're metering from your first tank into your second tank.
Yeah, no, so like I said, we're trying to figure that out because I want to count gallons into my tank, but I want to kind of do it before it goes to the RO.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out what the best strategy is there. We'll figure something out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Talk more and figure out what the best.
Research for sure.
He's only a few thousand miles away.
That's it. But a phone call.
Not all that far.
That's the only problem with a lot of this stuff, man. We're spread out so far away, but it is what it is. We'll make it work.
Do you have a website that people could go to?
Yeah, so it's sapspy.com. There's all our product offerings there, different videos describing the different products there as well. Everything that we do is primarily shipped out. We always ship in 1 or 2 days. Sure. Always make ourselves available for phone calls, discussions as well. So you can request a quote. All that information is out there at sapspy.com. We also have a Facebook page as well. I try to post more and more content there of helping people understand where these systems are used. So you can also like us on Facebook. YouTube channel, I'm definitely not like you guys put all the content, but where I do have a video, we do post it on YouTube as well. And then reference it elsewhere.
Awesome. Super cool. And hope people go check that out. This is a super cool business, super cool company that helps a lot of make producers. That's awesome.
And I appreciate you stepping on and giving us a couple minutes of your day, Jeff. I know it's busy out there, so
absolutely appreciate your time and everything that you guys do as well about the podcast and the video content you put out there. It's like I said, I really appreciate. Really fits my style well.
Oh, you fit our
content.
You fit our style as well. So thanks for coming out.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We have a very special guest today, Mr. Glenn Goodrich from Vermont. So we appreciate you for coming on today. It's great to have you.
Well, it's great to be here.